Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Phee Smee show with Manly Mark. As always, and I do mean always, I'm your host, Manly Mark, and this is Phee Smee. Hope everyone's doing great. It's great to be in the studio with Phee. Phee, how you doing, man?
Man, you're looking so good right there with that orange toboggan on.
Yeah.
You look like you've been in the wilderness out there in the woods, just tripping, huh?
Well, I'm always tripping over sticks and stones, man, but
They'll break your bones, baby.
They will, but I tell you what, I'm really not, as far as hunting goes, I'm not even into the whole orange thing. The only reason I have this on my head is because it's the only warm toboggan I got.
Well, I like toboggans.
I'm not into the camo. I'm not into the, because I think as far as hunting goes, the whole camo is kind of like big pharmacy, like big ag, how big agriculture companies are satanic or evil. Same thing with pharmaceutical companies. It's like, yes, let's convince all these hunters that they have to spend thousands of dollars on this camo to go hunting. And it's like, you can go hunt in a pair of jeans and a jean jacket. You don't even have to have orange unless you're going on public land or something. But,
I have no idea about
there are magazines from the 60s and 70s of hunters who were knocking down plenty of deer wearing a red flannel and a pair of jeans. So what I'm saying is all the bull crap about camo this, camo that. It's just to get you to waste your money. You don't need that crap.
Well, you figure that people have been hunting since the beginning of time, actually trying to eat, and they didn't need camo before 1990.
Well, I tell you, man, it's all about getting you that money. But even with that said, even hunting isn't even that cool anymore because, I saw another picture of some folks today hunting in a deer blind. They got the little heater. They had a kid over there playing on an iPad, and he's just got his feet knocked. He's got his feet posted up, and it's like, you put out this food, you get these deer, walk out pretty close in front of you, used to eating it every single day. Then they walk out, you got your high-powered scope on, you just point and shoot. No, I'm a good hunter. Where's the challenge? Where's the skill? Where's the excitement of,
There's folks that will pay $10,000 and go to Colorado to try to kill some big game, and if they don't shoot the rope, they'll get the elk. Because the elk is just tied to the dadgum tree.
Well, it's just, I'm all about, I don't know what I'm all about, but as far as hunting itself goes, if there's no challenge or skill involved, opposed from just sitting there, deer coming to have its breakfast that it's been doing for the last few months, what's the point?
There's no sport in it.
There's no sport. It's like, I want a challenge.
I've never been ice fishing. I've always wanted to go ice fishing. But they say they've got some of those cabins on that ice that they've got heaters on.
Well, I would classify that as a little different personally.
Would you?
Yeah, because you are on the ice. You got a little hole. You're still fishing.
Yeah.
But
I've never done it, but I think it'd be cool.
I think me too. I think there's a skill along with fishing. I'm not a very good fisherman, and I'm not even a good hunter because I don't use a scope. It's either iron sights or it's my longbow.
Well, it's a challenge.
I want it to be a challenge. And I tell you, I've been practicing with my longbow. I'm getting pretty good. Still haven't killed anything with it. Probably won't, but I'm going to be trying.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, Mark.
No, all that to say, I ain't trying to hate on no
camo hunters.
No camo hunters, no food plot hunters, even though it's just like, what's the challenge? I mean, I understand I just want to fill my freezer, but it's like, hey, you got this big old giant buck, yeah. Did you really work for it? Did you really do anything? Or did you just go to their favorite breakfast spot, sit in front of a heater with your snacks, kids sitting next to you on an iPad, just point your high-powered scope that's impossible to miss with, and pull the trigger?
There's your modern-day hunting experience with the iPad.
Well, they've watered down absolutely everything.
Well, let me just tell you this, Manly Mark.
Tell me.
You've got drug ships being blown up.
Good.
And our boy is being dogged about it.
He is, of course.
You've got Tim Waltz over there with $100 million of fraud in Minnesota.
Non-surprising.
And I just have to tell you, I can't figure out what the Democrats' play is when it comes to trying to keep illegal immigrants in the country that are shooting now the National Guard.
It's all about an invasion, man.
It is crazy
It's an invasion.
You got the digital IDs in Great Britain that's absolutely making those folks march in the streets.
As they should. I mean, well, I almost think Europe waited too long. I think at this point, Europe's gone.
Well, Donald Trump is trying to tell Europe right now that you better give some concessions up or Russia's fixing to put it on you.
Oh, Ukraine. Well, let Russia put it on them.
So
let Russia put it on them. I mean, at this point, it's like idiots. Idiots.
Well, you got the false flag with Tucker Carlson coming up talking about 9/11. You knew about that long before everybody else did.
A million people knew about that. Like, yeah, 9/11 was literally an inside job, most likely done by our best friend Israel, in order to gain national support for Middle Eastern wars that only benefited Israel. It destabilized the region. Like even Saddam Hussein. I'm not saying I'm a Saddam Hussein supporter, but the whole weapons of mass destruction was a lie. And it's like, yeah, he was a dictator, I guess, but he probably actually did have the best interests of his country and his people in mind. Not only that, a church burned down in Detroit in the 80s. He paid out of pocket to have it rebuilt. He was mentioned several times that Christmas was his favorite holiday. He also was on record after watching The Passion of the Christ saying, if Jesus had came to the Iraqis, we would not have done that to him. We would not have done that to him. So it's like, I'm not saying he was a good Christian, even though some speculate he might have been a Christian. But what happened in Iraq after we caused Saddam Hussein to get hung? Oh no, even worse and more radical people fill the void. Same thing in all of these countries. It's like, I do not understand this because I see it time and time again. Bashar al-Assad's an evil dictator. We got to get rid of him. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we got rid of him. Oh no, someone who's even worse and is persecuting Christians even more is in power now. Who could have seen this coming? Oh no. It's like, it's frankly retarded at this point. Like, I don't use that term lightly. I do sometimes, but it's retarded. The mental gymnastics that I see a lot of people I know, good people, who just cannot put two and two together. Hey, let's pray for the deposition, for the getting rid of this guy that the news told us was a bad guy. Oh no, someone who's 10 times as worse has come up. Oh no, it's even more worse. Idiots. America is the puppet of, well, I'm not going to say who, Israel, to destabilize the Middle East so that they can take control and do what they want to do. I mean, they're already talking about invading Lebanon. And it's like, oh, really makes you wonder about the Greater Israel Project, where they have to take over so much more land of so much more countries to establish the borders that God promised Abraham all those thousands of years ago that Israel's never even owned in the first place. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Well, it's not going to make sense to the end of time.
Well, no, but not only that, but those promises made to Abraham were made to those who are in Christ to begin with. So what you see happening, while if it is part of the end times, is predestined in a sense to happen, it's bad people forcing the hand of God by their own means.
And it didn't work.
No, it never works. I mean, the good Lord will let you fill that cup up as much as you want. You fill it to the brim, it's overflowing. But you're going to have to drink it all down. And then in your drunkenness, you're going to fall upon your own sword.
You're right there, ladies and gentlemen. You just heard an illustration from Manly and Mark. I've missed Manly Mark. I tell you what, when he's not with me, Fee's a little lost. But I'm glad to have him today. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, Mark?
Oh, I suppose. Just a bunch of crazy kids running around. I just wanted to scream the whole time.
A lot of family?
Yeah, I guess. I've got 4 siblings, and they all came. My grandmother came. It was at my house, and it's just, when I was growing up, I had an uncle who, when he had enough of the noise level or the tomfoolery of kids, get these cockeyed kids outside. And sure enough, we had to go outside. There ain't no Uncle Chuck anymore to be hollering at those kids. And in my mind, I'm thinking, get these dang kids out of here. Trying to have my coffee and have a conversation. But you got these stupid kids trying to nose into every single intellectual conversation, any kind of, and it's just like, that ain't how it's supposed to go. Get these cockeyed kids outside.
Well, there's your modern day Thanksgiving now. See, so Uncle Chuck's not around.
Well, and you know what? He's around. He just ain't around. He's got his own family now. But it's even like I noticed, and this is going to sound a little old-fashioned, but it's out of convenience now. But before everything was even finished, before the turkey's even out of the oven, well, we got to go ahead and make the kids' plates and get the kids fed so they leave us all alone. Oh, back in the day, the men were eating first. Now we're just catering to the kids eating first.
Yeah, my father starved to death as a sharecropper's boy, and he said to me many times, if I got the neck bone, I was happy.
Well, good. Yeah, well, that neck bone probably had some good fatty meat on it.
And
First and foremost,
he was happy to get the neck bone from the chicken.
Well, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like you're saying. It's just like if the whole point of everything is to placate the kids so they leave us alone, maybe the kids aren't raised right.
I think that would probably be exactly what my father would say.
Well,
but
he wouldn't be wrong.
Again, I did not raise my children the way. I tried to take the best from my parents and tried to raise my children like that. They were here for Thanksgiving. It's what a blessing it is for me to see them.
Did you have one of your kids on his podcast? You're not now, Phee? Because I was scrolling through some videos and noticed a little gal sitting in your seat.
I had, that was my oldest daughter decided that she would come do a show on Thanksgiving for what she was thankful for.
Okay.
And then I had my two sons, my oldest and my youngest, for my Phee sports ball was
okay.
surrounded.
How did that go? Was the audio and everything good?
Audio was very good, and I was surprised about that. It was a little tight with four, but this is a long table.
Yeah.
You know,
well, did they all have a good time, and do they believe in the mission more since they saw the boots on the ground operation?
Again.
Or did they at least have fun?
I think they had a good time.
Yeah.
Whether or not they are in complete compliance, I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
I'm probably just like a myth to them.
No,
because they've never seen me.
They've seen you many times on the show, and you've met a couple of them, but you hadn't met the other ones.
Oh yeah, I met that one.
You met my son.
Yeah, just briefly.
And you also met my youngest daughter.
Well, I don't know if I've met her. I met her husband, but I saw him walking around the boot barn. I told you about that just a while back, and I thought, I didn't approach, but I thought,
looking at your scope.
Yeah, I was looking at my scope. And I thought, is that Phee Smee's daughter? Sure enough, it is. Look, I saw Phee Smee's daughter in the wild walking around the boot barn. What's going on?
She is a cowgirl. What do you want me to tell you?
I ain't hating. I just thought, what are the odds to see Phee Smee's daughter out in the wild?
Well, that's not surprising to me at all. If you found her at the boot barn, then she lives there.
Yeah, it's actually the same day I bought these boots right here.
Woo!
I mean, that's been like probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago, or I don't know. Was I even around a year ago, Phee?
Yes.
Okay, maybe a year ago.
Yes, Manly Mark and I have celebrated our 1-year anniversary of knowing each other. What a blessing he's been to me as we kick this off.
Both of our lives have gone downhill significantly since then.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to do business with you.
Well, it's because the devil don't want us together, Phee.
The devil is going to pay a great price for us being together. So
he already has.
We're going to rock and roll.
I say that. I really am not trying to speak no evil on us either.
No.
I ain't trying to invite him to come get us.
Well, Manly, you were one of the first again back in May of this year that started talking about the UAPs. And
I tell you, man. I tell you.
Now you got a Fox special report done with talking about all this government cover-up since the 1940s.
Yeah, well,
what are they trying to shift the culture to get us ready for it to now?
Either a bringing together of the world under the threat of UAPs, or they're trying to slow disclose the fact that these things have been around for thousands of years and aided in the evolution of mankind, and in a sense are our creators.
Well, you definitely have convinced a whole lot of people that they are demons coming in and outside of the realm.
Now that I believe is true.
Yes.
They come from far away. No, they've always been here.
They're right around. You just can't see until you get in that realm.
All about vibration, man.
It is, and frequency.
And frequency and vibration. Yeah, I use those terms interchangeably, which I know they're close, but yeah, it's all about that, man. Or even like what's weird is even like these UAPs seemingly do the same thing, just pop in and out of existence.
But as they, slowly shift the culture from you're a crazy guy, conspiracy theorist that believes in UFOs, to now congressional hearings with the UAPs and I would say, credible news source having a series on the cover-up that's been going on since the 1940s.
Mm-hmm. Well, and what's interesting to me is I feel bad for the hundreds of folks who've been saying the same thing since the 40s, who just discredited, killed, made a fool of. I mean, you can't discredit me because what credit do I even have?
Well, it makes you think of Noah. Building a dadgum ark for 120 years and people mocking him and making fun of him and then clawing to get on the boat.
Hey, I know I said you're a pig and you're an idiot, but you think I could come on this boat you made, sir? You were right. But you know what? It was God who closed the doors.
And he wasn't opening them because at some point there is no other choice. Until then, you have a choice.
Yeah, until they felt that rain falling. Whoa! The guy who said water was going to pour out of the sky. Oh, he was right. Oh gosh. Oh! Like sometimes when you're outside and you feel a little sprinkle, and you're like, did I feel that? Did I not?
Yes,
Imagine,
I like that,
imagine how like. Well, no, and then you feel a little more, and you're like, oh gosh. I would have been using I probably would have tried to climb the ark personally. If that was me, I would have had some little spikes or nails and just.
Yeah, well, you could have been wall climbing or anything. But your APBs and
UAPs.
What is it?
UAPs
and with Noah's Ark raining. What about your weather manipulation with all of this crazy stuff going on? And now you see that Florida has just been the first state to ban all of those crop.
Yeah, I saw one of the Trump EPA officials literally go on the news and say, "Yep, we've been spraying the skies this whole time. Well, we're going to try to put an end to it." And it's like, what did I try to tell you? I mean, I hadn't been doing it that long, but I had been doing it for 10 years, but I hadn't been doing it on air for that long. But it's just like, are you? I don't know. I mean, it makes no sense to me.
One of the few things that you actually opened my eyes to is the weather manipulation, because the math and science is there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to believe. They've been talking about it for 100 years.
So,
for real. America's first meteorologist literally said you could make it rain somewhere on yonder by making a big enough fire. And the particulates go up there and do some hoopy doopy, and then it rains. It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's not that hard for me to piece together or believe, because I believe aliens are demons. So,
right.
I don't know. Phee, I ain't got a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Well, they're fixing to prove to you that they exist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if someone doesn't believe, I can't hardly imagine someone being like, I don't know.
How about your mother?
She's a bad example.
How about your grandmother?
Yeah, well, she might just say, "Oh, it's not real."
I'm just saying, the people that are 50 years old and older, they don't have the same type. They've been mentally conditioned for years and years to think that's false.
Yeah,
fraud
but it's just
fake.
It's just like it's just look up. Just look up at nighttime, and you'll see them yourself. Now, I can't say I've ever personally seen them, but plenty of folks who just are regular go out and look around. I mean, you see these satellites floating on by, but sure enough, you see one of these moving lights. Sometimes you see it zipping and zapping, zigzagging, and it's like they've been here
for a long time.
They've been here since the days of Noah. And I say that to say, as in the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. It's exactly what's happening now, man.
Absolutely.
I'll be right back. Coffee. I ain't got no coffee.
It's good to have Manly Mark here, folks. I can tell you this much. He loves his little old coffee cups. He enjoys a nice cup of coffee. I don't know why he doesn't drink it at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. He normally drinks it around 11:30 or noon in the morning. But tune in tonight to the Night with Phee on the Phee Smee Network. And then also Thursday, we will have Phee's Sports Ball with Sir Isaac the Guru. as last week we did our Thanksgiving special. You also might want to check out Montana Smee, the one and only, doing her Thanksgiving special of what she was thankful for. Glad that everybody got back safe at home. We didn't have any problem with any type of cyber attacks. I always am concerned on Black Friday, and for the last 2 years, because that's something that they don't have to have a lot of chatter for. It's kind of like 9/11. You know, they can set that date 3 years in advance and then not have any chatter about it. And then Black Friday, it goes blackout. So glad that that's behind us. I don't know if it's going to stay behind us, but it certainly didn't happen over Thanksgiving.
What's behind us?
I was telling that for the last 2 years, every Black Friday, I'm concerned of cyber attacks with blackouts in the grid.
Oh, sure.
Because that's something that they can do 2 or 3 years in advance with no chatter.
Oh, 100%.
Like 9/11.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even though people were talking about 9/11 before it happened. Predictive programming, man.
Well, I was thankful that everybody got safe. You know, there wasn't that big of delays at the airports since this government shut down. Just like I'd said that they would reopen before Thanksgiving because of the travel situation. But we are going to have some serious cyber attacks in the United States. These hackers, they work for governments. They know exactly what they're doing. They can break into any place they want to break into, anytime they want to do it. And so that's what you've got to look forward to next is the cyber attacks, the civil unrest, and then, of course, the terrorist attacks.
Well, I'm ready for them National Guard to go into Somalia and get all those folks out of there.
Well, those folks are killing Christians over
in Nigeria. Yeah.
And,
I wish they'd let me go over there.
I do too.
Because it'd just be so much fun.
You'd be the chief before it was over.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course. But it's just like...
You wouldn't even need a scope.
No, I mean, I might take one if I was going there just for fun, make it, just for fun. But it's just like, I don't know, like, hey, come try to raid my village in the middle of the night. Oh, I was expecting and waiting. Pew, 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 pew. I don't know. I won't get into it. But just like even like during the Rhodesian Bush War, it's like they would capture these fighters. And long story short, they would be like, they would always have, they'd be pretty close distance to fighting, and they would notice they would always have their scopes set to the highest viewing, to the point where it was almost impossible to make an accurate shot because they had their scopes turned up so high. And they asked one of the prisoners, "Why do you guys do that?" "Well, that turns the power of the rifle up." Ha 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 ha! These foolish folks.
Hey, it's news if you haven't read it.
Yeah, you ain't ever heard of that?
Yeah, I have. And what I'm saying to you is those folks, they didn't know. They thought they was turning up the power.
Yeah, idiots. Idiots. Granted, I mean, don't even get me started on Rhodesia.
Kind of like trying to teach somebody basketball without teaching them how to dribble.
Oh, sure. I mean, dribbling's like the least thing you need to know in basketball, but I understand the metaphor.
Yes.
It's sports ball. Look, our viewers don't understand sports ball metaphors, so why are you even bringing them into this?
It's pure stupidity on my part.
No, I'm just hating on you, Phee. I mean, at this point, I almost have to keep up the sports ball hate just because it's what folks expect out of me.
Well, and I think it's real.
Well, I mean, I don't actually have a hate for the game.
No.
But I have a hate for the
worship
of it, and the way that people just they idolize and they center their whole lives around these grown men playing children's ball. And I just like, why? It's fun, it's entertaining, it's a good way to kill time, sure, it's a good way to make money, gambling. But if you're actually letting it affect your mood that Takarius Daquan fumbled on the fourth and Debarius Lamarius picked it up and ran for a touchdown, who cares? Who cares? You got Christians dying in Nigeria. You've got crazy stuff going on in the Middle East. But you worried about sport ball, man? Come on.
You got Bill Gates making lab made all over the world and doing everything, funding all kinds of research.
Well, and I will say a lot of the crazy weather is for sure because of weather manipulation, but there's also a lot of weird solar activity going on right now that's causing it.
Why?
Cylindrical cycles, nature of the world and the universe that we live in. Like these celestial bodies and the earth in particular go through certain cycles, and that has an effect. They don't really talk about it much, but I mean, there was like what they considered a mini ice age in medieval, I don't know, I'm just going to say medieval times because of like, I'm speaking outside my jurisdiction, but they call it like grand solar minimums, grand solar maximums, where it's pooping out more energy or less energy or more solar flares or less solar flares, and has an effect on the Earth, obviously. Like, I mean, just 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were seeing the Aurora Borealis in the skies in Arkansas. Do you ever remember growing up that being a normal thing?
I did not.
That's happened like 2 or 3 times in the last 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? That's weird. And people just act like it's somewhat normal or not that big of a deal. But there are strange things happening in the heavens right now. And there's a correspondence on the earth.
Well, astronomy is something that I really enjoy, but I don't know enough about it to be able to talk to you about the
moon bit.
Tides and the.
Well, I mean, the moon tides women have been able to track their cycles per the moon for millennia.
That's true.
And now they're not able to. And even like astrology, do I think people worship it? Worship the created instead of the creator? Yes, but if the moon has a strong enough pull on the earth to pull the tides, and lunatics, Luna, the moon, lunatics, crazier folks come out during full moons. These celestial bodies floating on by do have an effect, albeit I don't know to what degree, on the earth, on people.
Certainly on a frequency standpoint, a vibration standpoint.
Yeah, but as far as like, ooh, is Tommy going to break up with Susan because she's a Sagittarius and he's a Pisces? Ooh, you're worshiping the created,
Tough. You've had presidents that actually made decisions based on their astrology charts.
Yeah.
I mean, it can get pretty rough on you, can't it?
It can. I think, again, there's some truth to that kind of thing, but...
Oh, there's no question that there's some truth to it. Based on just the science, math and science of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got sailors that have been, sailing the dead-gum oceans based on the stars for many, many
Which, I mean,
centuries.
This is going to sound absolutely bonkers, but I am of the personal opinion, this is like real bonkers. I go back and forth on whether space is real or not. Real in the sense of what they tell us. Like real in the sense of the medium of space. Like, is it really just a voidless vacuum? We've got an atmosphere, but space is a vacuum, yet it doesn't just vacuum everything off the earth. Well, we got a gravitational pull, and it's like, no. That just sounds hoopy-doopy silly. If you had a big enough vacuum and you held it to the earth, it'd suck it all off. So you're telling me that Earth has just enough gravity to hold in this perfect layer of atmosphere here, the ionosphere, the whatever, that the vacuum doesn't create an equilibrium. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense that there can exist a what's the word I'm looking for? Perfectly balanced whatever next to an open vacuum. It just doesn't make sense.
You think it would suck it right in there?
It would suck it right in, or that there might be some sort of firmament. But the point, that's all. I go back and forth on that kind of thing daily, and it has no effect on my daily life or my faith. So it's just like, I don't know. I've never seen it. I've never done I've never crunched the numbers. But I am of the opinion, about 75%, that what we believe to be just ballless, gaseous energy planets, or just, these planets floating by, are celestial beings, are angelic beings. Even in the Bible, it talks about how God created the host of heavens and set them on their paths. So it's like, Mars isn't going to deviate from its path because God set it on that path. If he did, he'd fall. He'd be a fallen one. What we perceive as just a rock in space, billions of miles away, it's just some angelic being doing what God set it out to do. Sounds crazy, but even the ancients believed that. you know?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I keep Manly Mark around.
Have you ever thought about that?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, does it make sense in a crazy kind of way?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes perfect sense to me that you would believe that.
That's a good way to put it, Phee.
Well,
It's like you're washing your, okay, Mr. Pilot, you're washing your hands clean.
Yes. Well, what do you think about Bill Gates and his overpopulation type of...
That's a Luciferian agenda.
You think he's going to be dangerous, don't you?
I think he already has been, and he will either just fade into obscurity and let someone else take on the mantle, or kind of sit in the background, because too many folks are catching on to him. You know, like, hey, all the help he's tried to give Africa and India, a whole lot more people are dead and dying because of that. Oh, he talks about his concern for the global population pretty often, yet he's tied intimately into healthcare in Africa, or healthcare in India, or all these things, and it's like, or reproductive health in Africa. And you're like, well, for someone who's concerned about overpopulation, you sure are putting a lot of time and attention into these places that are overpopulated.
And these folks that continue to take these vaccinations, and now they're talking about that this COVID was COV and then ID, because they have...
I don't know, what does that even mean? What are you talking about?
They've injected an antibot in there to where they know exactly where you are at all times.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy into that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but some people even say they just injected you with the HIV virus. You know, like it's even in the creation of the COVID vaccine, they used HIV strands or HIV DNA, and it's like, how unfortunate it would be if they came out in a few years and said, hey, everybody, if you got the COVID shot, you got HIV. Oh. Well, but then everyone who's had intercourse with these people, you know, like as far as even like the shedding of the vaccine goes, which you've heard of that.
Yep.
And I think that's 100% real.
Do you?
Yeah, the shedding, because they even talk about shedding from regular childhood vaccines, or if you get a regular vaccine, there's a shedding period where you're shedding these, I don't want to say antibodies, but shedding these particulates of the virus off of you. In your fluid, your spit, your cough, your bodily fluid, your sweat. I mean, even people who've had intercourse with people who've received the COVID vaccine are at greater risks of whatever negative of effects that is going to come of these things. I mean, you already have all these young people who are just being discovered that they have super advanced forms of cancer that are typically not found in young people. You've seen that, the turbo cancers.
Yep, that's what they're called.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you've completely suppressed and destroyed your immune system from this COVID vaccine, which sounds kind of like HIV, I don't know, man. There's something to that.
Well, medical terms have always been in Latin because it makes the doctors seem smarter.
Yeah.
But for 250 years, the term virus in Latin meaning was venom.
Well, some people even don't even, like, the germ theory is the most widely accepted theory of germs and sickness. But some people ascribe to, what was it called, the terrain theory, that it's like, I say terrain, I might be off on that because it's been a while since I've dipped my toes in that, but the idea that things like that are not spread, that it's just like even in like uncontacted tribes in the Amazon, they'll notice that seasonally they'll catch sicknesses. And it's like, well, this is a sickness that's typically seen in populations with these certain diseases, yet this disease hasn't been introduced to this population, and yet they still have same symptoms. Almost like it just falls down on the sky upon them or something. Or it's a detox process, I mean, again, I'm not one of those because I haven't put that much thought, but some people even challenge the mainstream germ theory that sicknesses aren't caused necessarily by germs.
Well, your CDC has a different definition. Your Johns Hopkins has a different definition. Your Mayo Clinic has a different definition. Your Vanderbilt Medical Clinic has a different definition for virus than they've had for 250 years. A virus is a venom, is mostly from snakes, a poison, and it comes from also spiders and scorpions. Now, how does that get in your body if that's what most medicines are derived from.
You tell me,
and
Phee
now
Smee.
all of those viruses are in your body, 28 strands of flu virus, and I'm just trying to figure out if a virus is venom or a poison from snakes, spiders, or scorpions, how it enters your body if they're not injecting you with it.
Oh, they are. I mean, a lot of people middle age are getting cancer now because the SV40 was in vaccines for a long, long time. I mean, they put the cancer virus in these vaccines so that then later they manifest as cancer.
Yeah, and it's tough to track because just like the COVID vaccinations, they've got different medicines for different COVIDs and different batches that would come out, and they vary it, and they're targeting. A lot of people think they're targeting the white male.
Well, yeah, I was even RFK Jr. was on video talking about how he speculates that COVID-19 was an ethnic bioweapon in that the groups most targeted were European men and African Americans. I say European, but Europeans and African Americans. And the groups that were less affected by COVID were Ashkenazi Jews and Han Chinese. Huh.
Strange.
But yeah, I mean, they've had ethnic bioweapons for a long time. Why do you think? Like I've even read like the 23andMe and the what's the other ones, the Heritage or
Yeah.
those.
All of your genealogy.
Your genealogy. It's like if you do some reading, it costs like hundreds or thousands of dollars to sequence those types of things. Yet there are labs in China that subsidize these companies, meaning they can charge you $100, then they get the rest of the money somewhere else to do this because that's valuable data to these people.
Goes back to them funding the research in order to get the information. Not a hard concept that you buy. Money gets you access. Money gets you.
Yeah, because they might be in the hole having to pay all this money out, but the data they're getting is invaluable.
Information is power. And
Well, same thing. They monetize our data every click.
absolutely.
I mean, even every click you make on your phone, every page you spend a minute on. They've even got it to where your phone can recognize how long your eyes rest upon certain places on your screen. It's data. It's data. They're mining data.
There's no question they're doing that, and there's tons of money in mining data. We've been together 6 months on air. In those 6 months, you've seen a real shift. What's going on with these digital IDs over in Europe? The immigration of the Muslims and the green horse is basically taking over our country. Europe, Canada, which is the biggest facade I've ever seen, is basically the United Kingdom or Great Britain controlled. We've got real problems to our south with Mexico and real problems to our north with Canada. That's what our president's trying to do. But there's some things going on in Venezuela, Manly, that people are not aware of.
Tell me about it.
They've got so much of a military buildup down there that there's no way they're doing it for narco boats. They've got to get that man out of there. A lot of people think it's because of the oil. I will tell you it's because Russia and China have got their claws into Venezuela, and it's too close to the southern part of the United States.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Venezuela's already been asking Russia and China for help, and it's like, why wouldn't they?
Trump's 20-point peace plan for Gaza is out and has been accepted by a lot of folks. It was not accepted by Russia or China, which have veto power in the United Nations.
Well, does it meet the criteria for your 7-year peace plan?
No, but it's moving in that direction. No. Your 7-year peace plan will not be that peace plan until they give up Judea, Samaria, which is the West Bank, and they allow Jewish settlers to stay there. They allow that third temple to be built and daily sacrifices to start. And then they also will have the reason it's 7 years is because they will give Jerusalem to Israel for 7 years. And that's why it's called a temporary peace plan. So Jerusalem will always be in play to the very end.
Oh, yeah. That's where Jesus Christ is going to rule from when he comes back.
And there's a fault line right underneath that Mount of Olives that when he steps foot on that mountain, it's just going to split it wide open.
Yeah, it will. I'm looking something up in the Bible because I want to make a point, but
No
I'm
problem.
talking.
I like when he starts looking up verses in the Bible, folks, because he doesn't like to be wrong. And he normally makes his point real, real strong.
Well, it's kind of an indictment of America. And again, it's the whole blessing Israel, you'll be blessed, and cursing Israel, you'll be cursed. And it's like, since 1948, America's been inherently worse, inherently more morally deprived. And it's like, are these the blessings? You know?
Well, I think you certainly have to go through the birth pains because what you said, the Jewish people, the Israelites have never been good to my Lord. And they definitely have a tendency to worship Baal. And
I think they are right now.
So I do too.
Molech.
Molech, Baal. I think that a lot of people out there, unbeknownst to them, are worshiping Satan, thinking they're worshiping God. And that's just a pure, a lack of education. And it's a belief of people that if you love them and trust them and you think they have your best interest at heart, that if they teach you something or tell you something, you believe them. So that's what happens when you're born into a culture that tells you to hate people, and it's a religion of hate rather than a religion of love. And there's your two different types. But my Lord says in Deuteronomy that He is the God of Israel, and I'm going to bless the nation of Israel, not the government, because the government is just absolutely corrupt. And they've got left wings, they've got right wings, they've had liberal prime ministers, they've had conservative prime ministers. But the bottom line is they've got their hands in a whole lot of bad things. And
well, I mean, I think if God's hand's in this, it's to give the appearance that they are getting what they want, regardless of their acknowledgement of Christ, only for it to turn out that that's going to be the very thing that destroys them. That's going to be the very thing that turns the world against them, which is inherently bad because those folks are being used as a tool of judgment and then will be judged in themselves also. But that's the whole, hey, Mark, you're an anti-Semite, you're anti-Israel.
No, you're not.
No, but
you're just telling truth.
Well, but it's like you can't go so far that then you reject the God of Israel, Yahweh, or a lot of folks are calling now, hey, the God of Israel has always been a demon. Jesus was not even a Jew. And it's like there is a plan and purpose for Israel in the end times. Not the government, not the piece of land with the name Israel on the map.
That's right.
But there is a plan and purpose for a remnant of Israel to be saved. Even in, it might be Zechariah, but he even says all of Israel will be saved. Now, I don't know exactly what that means because every single person in the country Israel probably won't be saved.
I would agree.
But there is you can't toss out the baby with the bathwater in the sense of you recognize the evils that this ethnic people group, Rabbinic Judaism, the Talmud, has put upon the entire world, almost like some plan it is a plan they've been enacting for 1,000 years, 2,000 years. People are waking up to that, and they are having a strong reaction, turning against Israel, turning against the Jews, turning against the God of Israel, but they're letting that harden their heart against the God of Israel, who is Jesus Christ, and that itself is going to be a bad thing. The Gentiles will trample Jerusalem for,
42 months.
42 months. And it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be there when the Lord comes back and spits a sword out of his mouth and just whatever bad thing's going to happen to you. But I also don't want to be on the side of a country that was apparently chosen 3,000 years ago, unchosen 2,000 years ago, and then rechosen in 1948. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Makes it difficult for some people to comprehend.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. But what I wanted to read was Deuteronomy 28. And I mean, we'll just read through it real quick. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently. This is the King James version, so
Good.
take it with it what you will. Yeah, it's funny how some people say the King James version is the word of God.
No, it's from England, and he didn't write it. The king didn't write it.
But it's like, well, okay, well, what's the inspired version that the Spanish speakers got, or the inspired version that the Arabic speakers? And it's like, come on. But regardless, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all of his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Well, right there, it's like, is Israel doing that right now? No. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and all that thou settlest thine hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of thy Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in thy goods, in the fruit of thy body, in the fruit of thy cattle, in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. They shall, and the Lord, I'll get to the good part. Just skip on, just skip on to the good part. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of the body, and the fruit of the land, and the increase of thy kin, and the flocks of the sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt be thou when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all thou settest thine hand unto for to do. Unto thou be destroyed, and unto thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make pestilence cleave unto thee, until he has consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, with inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with thy sword, and with thy blasting, and with mildew, and thou shalt pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The point I'm making is, look at America. It even goes on to talk about how you'll buy a house and you won't be the one living in it, right? You'll plant a field, but you won't be the one harvesting it. The foreigners in America are treated a whole lot better than the people who own the land.
Absolutely.
That's
the globalist agenda.
It is, but the point I'm making is America has turned its back to God, who is Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, and as a result, these same cursings, I should have read the ESV version, honestly, the New King James Version, but the point I'm making is we in America have a false sense that we're doing God's work. Just like the people who think they're storming Israel are going to be thinking they're doing God's work. The people who kill you in the end times, Phee, will be thinking they're doing God's work.
Christians killing Christians thinking they're doing the will of God.
Yeah, but
that's deception.
But America in general, and the evangelical world, and just Christianity in America, see themselves doing the work of God, and yet we're still being cursed. The population who built America are the worst off, and are the most demonized, the ones who are putting in the most work, the most effort, and see the least amount of return.
Makes sense.
But and even how many wars did you hear? It's God's will that we go into Vietnam. It's God's will that we overthrow Iraq.
God gets blamed for a whole lot of things.
Yeah, but it's like, whoa. When did God give us the sheriff's badge to do his bidding around the world? Now, I'm not inherently anti-America, but it's this false sense of patriotic duty that we slap God's name upon.
You would love for America to just take care of America, and you love America, but you don't understand why they're funding wars in Vietnam.
But I had a conversation with a guy. This has been years ago, but I noticed because there's people have the Christian flag. You know what the Christian flag is, and I'm not saying that Christianity even needs a flag, but for a lot, it's just a symbol of Christianity.
That's the white flag with the cross.
Yes. But if you notice in all these churches, they fly the American flag, then the Christian flag.
Yes.
At all these VBSs you go to all around the country, first thing you do is you pledge the allegiance to the American flag, then you pledge the allegiance to the Christian flag, then you pledge allegiance to the Bible. And I even told the guys talking.
Is that inverse order?
Yes. But I even was talking to this guy and said, it seems like wrong that we fly the American flag over the Christian flag. Again, I don't think that Christianity needs a symbol because in a sense that's idol worship, but that's beside the point. But we fly the American flag over the Christian flag, and we don't expect that to be some form of idolatry. And he said, well, I take kind of an issue with that because I was a veteran, I served my country, this and that. And it's like, okay, so you're putting your own personal experiences over God, and it's like, what do you expect? And of course, he did concede a little bit because he said that he had a friend who felt the same way, and his church was struggling with attendance and stuff, and he said that he kind of prayed to God, about it and kind of felt convicted, and wasn't that he heard the voice or whatever, but he said, Lord, if I take the American flag down and just fly the Christian flag, will you bring 50 people to my service? Please, Lord. And he said, maybe that was testing the Lord a little bit, which is wrong, but he said he did it. The very next Sunday, he had 100 people in his church. And the guy telling me the story still said, I still thought it was wrong. But it's like, we even worship America, the false idea of America, over Christ.
He's an angry, jealous God.
Well, there is no Jew nor Greek, male nor female in Christ. In Christ we are all one.
Yes, they have a different perspective than
it's just
what my Lord really is.
Twisting of Christianity, and it's a twisting of, I'm what you could be called a nationalist, but
that's okay.
But because God put me in this country for a reason. I was born an American for a reason, and you're supposed to want the blessings of your nation and the blessings of your leaders, but to put that before God in Christ and the will of God is idolatry.
No question about it. I mean, in my life, I can tell you that, God's always been in my top 5. But it's very difficult to keep him consistently at number 1 in a sinful world. Mm-hmm. And there's where the grace from my Lord Jesus Christ comes in.
Oh, yeah.
So because he knows we live in a
Well, but are you trying? Are you trying?
There you go. Yeah.
Are you trying?
Are you actually putting forth an effort and making it a priority? And I tend to be able to do that, and I'm much better now over the last 3 years. But I still find myself, if you spend more time in the world than the Word, then your priorities just shift very gradually over a period of time, and things don't seem as important to you as they should.
Come on now.
But if you're having bad times, if you're struggling, if you are being attacked, then you tend to get a closer relationship with.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like in the Bible in Israel. They killed all the prophets. Hey, wicked, evil Israel, turn away from your false gods and back to the real God. Hey, let's kill this idiot. Doesn't he know what's better for Israel? Doesn't he know what's better for us? He was right. Oh, please forgive us, Lord. Oh, we want you. We need you. Oh, times are bad. Oh, God, help us. Oh. just a self-repeating cycle, man.
It is. But I do believe when God says, hey, look, you're fixing to have a 7-year famine, so you need to store up food for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you right now, we're going to have some real problems between the Sixth Trumpet War with World War III, civil unrest, a civil war, a dadgum cyber attacks, terrorist attacks in our country. You're going to find a whole lot of folks, a evangelistic movement like this world hadn't seen.
See, I disagree with that.
I'm telling you right now, people are fixing to start getting killed,
Because
and they're going to turn right to
to
God.
me, that's just a rebranding of the New Apostolic Reformation.
Well, maybe.
But I say that in sense of if it's truly the end times, the Bible says we're going to see a great falling away. So, like,
You already seeing that.
yeah, but it never says there's going to be a great revival.
But I'm telling you that my Lord will have the greatest revival he's ever right now that he's ever had in this world. When a third of mankind gets killed, they will flock.
Well, but I think they're going to flock not to Christ, not to God. I mean, it gets into Albert Pike in his 3 letters.
I got you.
When it talks about how at the end of World War III, so many people will be disillusioned with the former things of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism that they'll be able to roll out in its full doctrine the doctrines of Lucifer, the doctrines of Luciferianism, that people will welcome and accept them with open arms, gleefully. So, I mean, again, I'm not trying to like hate or bash or like disagree that hard, but it's like I don't see a great. I mean, if I see a great revival, it makes me think the end times aren't here because there's going to be a great falling away in the end times, and a great acceptance of something that is not of God. But again, I wasn't the one with the vision, so
no. And you've been wrong before.
Well, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Bottom line is you're right an awful lot. But yes, I can assure you, when folks start getting killed, just like when 9/11 happened, folks, the churches were packed that coming Sunday.
Yeah, but are they churches that worship a false Christianity?
Now, there is a whole different topic because deception is key, and there's a whole lot of people worshiping the Luciferian right now that think they're worshiping God.
Because if a majority of the world turned to Christ right now, I'd be like, we're either not in the end times or something funky's going on.
Or you're at the end times.
I don't know,
One
man.
of the two.
I don't know, because...
You know, you're fixing to have another... you think this Holocaust that they told you about that killed so many millions of people, and I'm not so certain that happened either, but you're fixing to have a bigger one. The whole world's fixing to turn against the Jews, and they're fixing to start just wiping them out and annihilating them. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And that's just...
and the United States of America is going to be ostracized with between, this dadgum digital ID, this one United Nations, one world government, one world religion. It's coming. Mm-hmm. And the only way it gets there is for them to take away from you what you already have and then give it back to you, and you make concessions. Mm-hmm. And it's real simple to do that when it's all digital.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, like my numbers on the screen have decreased. What do I got to do to get those numbers to increase again? That's why I hate all this money and bank crap, because it's like you go to work for 40 hours a week just to watch some numbers on a computer increase. That's not worth crap to me.
I love the mindset of being against the man when it comes to I'm going to slave for so many hours a week and doing something, and then at the end of the week, all that money or all those numbers are going to either increase or decrease, and that's what my priority is.
Yeah, I mean, I know it translates to real money and real possession, real material this, but it's just like, in principle, what have you slaved away for? Something, pretend money.
I was money motivated for a long time. I can tell you, most people are.
Yeah, I mean, I am in a sense too.
I was raised with the one who dies with the most toys wins, and that is a wrong mindset. And one I do not have anymore.
In some Islamic sects, they believe that the more wealth and possessions you own, that on Judgment Day will equate to the more questions that God asks you. You know what I'm saying? That you have to answer for.
Well, you certainly. Phee don't need to be judging. He got his own stuff being.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? It's like
for.
the more money you got, the more questions you're going to get asked in Judgment Day.
I don't think there's any question about that, folks. As we're here, just thankful to have Manly Mark with us back today, folks, at the Phee Smee Show. Tune in tonight to Night with Phee at 9 p.m. Manly will be back with this Midday Madness show with Manly Mark here after the holidays, and he'll be dropping in weekly for us to hang out and have a Phee Smee show with Manly Mark. Manly, thank you so much for being here.
It was good to be here, Phee. As always, doing a little nickel diamond, two lime timing, little rim and rhyming.
He is what he is, and that's who he is, folks.
Come on now.
I appreciate you guys tuning into the Phee Smee Network. And remember, no matter what you're doing, you're missing something. So let's make what we're doing worth what we're missing.
Yeah, what he said.
God bless you.
God bless you.
The truth is clear, the time